Now the details. Our country celebrated its 31st anniversary of independence yesterday, October 27th. The annual military parade was held at the Victoria Park and began at 8 a.m. The parade featured the traditional march past, inspection and nation salute. However, things were done a little differently this year, as the audience, described as one of the largest in years, was taken by surprise by a special performance from the police force. Addressing the nation at the parade, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said the country had weathered the storms of adversity, but the work was not over. He said his government has embraced a policy which would enable us to move forward.
We must get on with our individual and collective work in imperfect conditions and do the very best we can. The sage prophets of old have taught us.
Dr. Gonsalves said as the country celebrates its 31st anniversary of independence during a very challenging period, Vincentians must take a positive approach towards nation building. He said the government will also be pursuing other initiatives to improve the quality of life for Vincentians.
In keeping with my government's long-standing policy of providing duty-free access to Christmas barrels and packages, the concession will be available this year from November the 7th through to January the 14th, 2011. As of January 2011, the monthly public assistance for the economically disadvantaged, including children and the elderly, will increase in each category by 25%, that is by 1/4. The policy of turning dead property into life property, which has been accelerating over the past few years, will be further boosted with the continued distribution by my government of hundreds of housing lots nationwide for economically disadvantaged persons at preferential prices. The interest rate on outstanding balances on purchases of these lands have been reduced from 8% to 3%. And a cap of 5 years has been placed on the number of years for which interest is payable. The special allocations of university education for nurses, policemen and women, teachers and public servants continue for the current and the upcoming academic year. 2 important sporting and recreational facilities in the city of Kingston and its environs will commence their build-out shortly.
As the activities to celebrate this country's 31st anniversary of independence continue, Vincentians are being urged to work together to surmount the challenges to national development, which continue to emerge internally and externally. The appeal, came from Governor-General Sir Frederick Ballantyne in his independence anniversary message. Sir Frederick said, apart from the global economic crisis, there are other major hindrances to national development. He said the current division in the society is one of the greatest causes for concern and can seriously retard progress. 13 young people were honored this afternoon at the annual Youth Awards ceremony. Among them were students who excelled in the Common Entrance exams, the seg and GCE examinations, as well as entrepreneurs, athletes and musicians. Addressing the awardees this year was fashion designer Kimon Batiste, who received the Entrepreneurial Award last year. Other remarks came from Minister of Youth Cecil Mackey, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Mobilization, Social Development, Youth and Sports Rosita Snag, and Youth Officer Carlos Williams. The Youth Awards ceremony was held at the French's House this afternoon. The government says the sale of majority shares in the National Commercial Bank will not affect the student loan program. Responding to a question in Parliament on Monday, Minister of Education Gerlin Miguel said a student loan company was established in August. She said the National Student Loan Program continues to be administered by the National Student Loan Committee, which reviews all applications. Minister Miguel said there are specific guidelines governing the eligibility of applicants who attempt to access loans under the economically disadvantaged program. A member of the local police force has said persons bear some responsibility in protecting their property, especially mobile phones, from thieves. Inspector Jonathan Nichols says mobile phones are among the most reported stolen items to the force. He urged persons to ensure their property is secure at all times. Inspector Nichols said placing an identifying mark on an item can also aid in its recovery if it's stolen. Members of the public had an opportunity on Tuesday to learn about the operations of the Ministry of Transports and Works at an information fair hosted by the ministry. The staff from each unit in the ministry mounted displays outlining their various roles. Among them was the government's Security Services Unit, which manages the operations of the all watchmen employed to protect the schools and other buildings owned by the government. Other units which were on display included the Land Transportation Unit, the Electrical Inspectorate, the Office of the Chief Engineer, the Project Management Unit, and the Soils Laboratory. The information fair was held at the ministry's parking lot and was held as part of activities to celebrate this country's 31st anniversary of independence. Earlier in the week on Monday, IKTV News Update brought you a breaking news story on Canouan. We reported that all was not well on Canouan and that IKTV would go to the Grenadine Island with our cameras, find out the facts and bring them to you. We have done just that. And in a few minutes, right after our IKTV News Update, IKTV will bring you a special investigative report with Chester Connell from Canouan. You stay with us, the news of the region, up next.